Hello, and how is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. This is going to be a short live stream. Uh, yes, let us talk about the Tower of Babel. Oh, no, I don't think I like this music. I don't think I like this music playing in the background. I'm going to turn that off. Let's see. Turn it off, right? I can turn it off. Come on, I'm trying to turn this off. How do you turn this music off? Oh, sorry, guys. I'm trying to. Can't seem to. Okay, I think I've done it. Hey, how are you guys doing? I hope you're well. And Mr. Bacon, Mark Caesar. Mark Caesar, I was watching your video yesterday. Yes, I was watching your video yesterday. You had very interesting things to say. I haven't finished watching the video. I started watching it, but then because it was really late last night and went to sleep. So, ah, this is a short live stream, and this was actually inspired by Dark Matters video, how to intimidate God. I don't really want to. I was thinking uh, to have that video on, but then no, I thought no. Let me put my own spin on the story of the Tower of Babel and how God got it wrong. The Tower of Babel is one of those stories in the Bible that just made me decide that the Christian God is just no good, no good at all. So this is going to be really short. It's not going to be long at all. So come on, Esther. It's 3:41. 3 minutes and 41. No. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is there are some the things you're talking about interests me, right? It's not one of those that you watch and then I started watching it and then realized, oh shoot, this is one of those that I have to take my time. Right now, I'm interested in the arguments that people make, right? So that was it's one of those that I need to just focus and watch it. So in fact, Mark, what do you think? Do you think we could actually can we after the story of the Tower of Babel, are you okay for us to go through the video here? What do you think? Can we go through the video together? Can we go through the video together? Or sure, if you want, you would love that. Okay, right. So after the story of Tower of Babel, then we can do that. So that way, I don't make empty promises of going back to it and not doing it. So let's get into the story of the Tower of Babel. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Going to share my screen to the Bible scripture. Let's see. No, scripture. Okay, this one. Okay. So this is the story of the Tower of Babel. Okay. And we zoom in. Oh, it's already zoomed in. So I will read. Okay, here we go. So I'll read the Tower of Babel. And by the way, this is what passage is. It's Genesis 11, right? Genesis 11 from verse 1. So, Tower of Babel. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastwards, they found a plain in Shinar and they settled there. So imagine that there was once upon a time where everyone spoke the same language. We all spoke the same language. This is according to the Bible. Okay, so everyone spoke the same language. And they said to each other, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city." Right? They said, "Let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." So, let's break that down. Let us build for ourselves a city. What's wrong in building a city? I see nothing wrong in building a city. That city will have a tower that reaches to the heavens, so reaches high up there. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having a tower high up to the heavens? So that we can make a name for ourselves. Okay, maybe that. Hmm, otherwise, we will be scattered all over the face of the earth. So that means they're trying to be together. They're trying to be, unity. They don't want to be scattered all over. They want to be together. Okay. Let me go check if there's any chats at all. Okay. I made the comment somewhere that the Tower of Babel was responsible for the different languages. Believers told me that other languages Believers told you that other languages existed. But that's not what the scripture says. The scripture is trying to tell us how we have so many languages. These people cannot seem to. After humans, have you seen the explanation of the collapse of the Tower of Babel in the show Supernatural? No, 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 no. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Supernatural. I should go and check it out, shouldn't I? Hmm. Okay, let's carry on. This is really short live stream, nothing too deep. So go back to the story. Okay, right, go back here and go back. Oh no, where am I? Okay, so far so good. I don't see anything wrong in what these people were trying to do, except make a name for themselves. Who doesn't want to make a name for themselves? Who doesn't want to um people to reckon with them? So far so good. I see nothing wrong. Okay, so now here comes trouble. Verse 5. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. Oh, here we go. The Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. The Lord said, if together speaking the same language. They have started to do this. Then nothing they plan to do together will become impossible. So God is threatened by these people. God is intimidated by these people. He's terrified at what these people can do together. Says if they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible. Is that not what a God should be after? Is that not what God should aspire for his creation? That they all come together and do something together. Verse 7 says, "Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so they will not understand each other." Because we don't want them working together. We don't want them in unity. We want them separated. We want them at each other's throats. Verse 8, "So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city." And that is why it is called Babel. Because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there, the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. God is threatened by humans. God is threatened by humans. Come on, guys. How is God threatened by human beings? Okay, let's see. Let me see your comments. Mark says, "Exactly my point." Huh? You'd like the show, I bet. It's pretty good drama about two guys who spend their lives hunting supernatural creatures from different beliefs. Oh, okay. The supernatural. Is it on Netflix? Hey, Henry M, hello. Is it on Netflix or just on YouTube? The story is a blueprint of what to do to countries to divide the people. Mm. If you want to, this is divide and rule, divide and conquer. The Bible, I don't know what the idea was, but whatever they were trying to achieve just does not work. This just shows that if God does exist, and this is all true, he's afraid of what we as a species can do without him. Well said. Hey, Beach. Hello, Beach. Beach Price, how are you doing today? This just makes it sound like God is a parent setting his children up for failure. So they have to rely on him for as long as he wants them to. That sounds abusive, absolutely abusive. God, listen, the Christian God needs you at your worst, at your most vulnerable, at your most desperate. He needs you down there. Otherwise, he cannot control you. Otherwise, he needs you 110% dependent on him for sustenance, dependent on him for every single thing you do. Anything outside of that, he is not content, he is not happy. Don't let them do something together, but give them different languages so they can know each other. This is just terrible. This is just absolutely terrible. Just imagine it. Didn't want to be the only, didn't want to be, it didn't want to be the only God. I thought it wanted to be the only God. I thought that was the whole idea, that he wanted to be the only God. I was taught that God did not want us to be like him and raised to the level of heavens, which was why he confused our languages and destroyed the tower. He didn't want us to be like him, but also the scripture says we were made in his image. So, which one is it? You don't want us to be like you, but at the same time, we're made in your image. Now, Mark, don't forget, he's an all knowing God. He's an all knowing God. He knew that these people would try to make this tower high up there. That just, okay, I've got some questions. Secularity. Hello, how are you doing today? The story of Babel makes God sound weak. He is a weak God. The Christian God is a weak God. This is also the Jewish God, right? This is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Is a weak, petty, and childish God. The Afro-Humans, yeah, all 15 seasons are on Netflix. Oh, fantastic. I shall be watching that. But someone probably asked, why do we speak in different languages? And this was what people came up with as a reason. Absolutely, Beach. This is what we were taught in Sunday school. We were taught that the reason why we have so many different languages is because God scattered. Human beings were trying to be like God. They were trying to go up to heaven to go see God, to go do whatever they want to do, and God wasn't happy, you know. And so therefore he had to confuse the language of the people. But hang on. This is how daft. This is how daft the God of the Bible is. Let me tell you how daft he is. If people don't speak the same language, how about body language? You can look at somebody just by their actions. You can tell what they're trying to do, so that they speak a different language. Does that mean they can't have interactions? Does that mean they cannot still communicate, even with a difference in language? Okay, let's tell you how daft this God is, right? Now, there are skyscrapers everywhere you look. There are skyscrapers everywhere. We even have Google Translate. You only need to go on the internet, just type, and whatever he was trying to do, whatever he was trying to achieve, is just defeated. So hopeless, so useless. I've never seen. This story is one of the reasons why I am no longer a Christian. Hey, Dumva, hello. On a list, okay, you listen on your drive home. Fantastic. Ah, this story is one of the reasons why I am no longer a Christian. Drive safe, absolutely. Drive safe. Please, Dumva. We need you to drive safe. Beach says humans invented Google Translate. Poor deity can't win. The same humans, they built skyscrapers. But Beach, if he was threatened then, why is he not threatened now? If he was threatened by the people coming together to construct this structure, what happened? Why is he not threatened now? Why is he not intimidated? In fact, it's worse now than it was before. There's skyscrapers everywhere. And it turns out, because when I was young, I assumed that above the skies, right above the skies, is heaven. Before I learned about space and all the other planets, and I assumed that heaven is up there and hell is down there. That was the assumption. That's what we were taught. Well, not taught, but you assume that heaven is up there, and next generation grows up learning 2 or 3 languages after God did that. Now, Beach, let me tell you another reason why this God is very daft and senseless. He knew that after scattering the languages of these people, a time will come when he will have to write his word on a book. Mm? He'll have to write his word, the Bible, on a book. And that Bible, because everyone now does not understand the language, we will have to translate his word, quote and unquote, his word. We're going to have to translate it into several languages. And we all know that things can, language, you can have things lost in translation. You can have words that you cannot find in the English. You might, you don't know what word to use in Spanish or in French. Wouldn't it have been easier to leave the people or just speaking just the one language? Wouldn't it have been easier for this God? What's funny is the Christians support this action on the Bible, but will learn other languages so they can communicate with other cultures themselves. Wouldn't God be pissed? These are the same Christians that they would translate the Bible into local languages because they need to recruit. Wait, hang on. Okay, so God knew that a time will come he would like everyone on earth to hear his message. Because I don't know if you guys have heard some Christians say, I don't know, people of different languages on ISS and also built LHC. Okay, Beach, what's ISS and LHC? I'm trying to figure it out. Is that story in the Quran? I don't know. I really do not know if the story is in the Quran. Had to learn another language to proselytize. Hilarious. Yes. I don't know if you guys have heard this. I've heard some Christians say that Christ will not come until everyone on earth has heard the gospel. Every tribe, every tongue, and every nook and cranny, every community on this earth has heard the gospel. Have you guys heard that? That Jesus Christ will not come until the entire world has heard the gospel, so that nobody can say that I never heard it. I never heard nothing about Jesus Christ. So, I can't be damned. You can't send me to hell because I never heard. So I don't know if you guys have heard that, but that's what I was taught in church. So these people in Genesis 11 were all working together. In fact, they were together. But God decides to scatter them all. And now the same God turns round. Now, once his message spread all over the world, telling his disciples and his followers to go and preach the gospel all over the world. The same one who scattered them now wants his message spread out all over. You can't win. With the Christian God, you cannot win. He is so useless. God, they're communicating. Make them have different languages. Also, God, my book should be in one language and the translations become more and more unclear. That's it. They just, over time, fiddles. They started off in Aramaic. Is it Aramaic? Yeah, Hebrew. Aramaic, then to Greek, and then Latin, and then English, and then just over time, it's all a mess. But guess who we're going to hold responsible for all this mess? We will hold God responsible. We will hold him responsible. It's his idea, isn't it? International Singularity, International Space Station, and Large Hadron Okay, okay. I get that. Thank you. International Space Station and the Large Hadron Collider. Hey, Teal X, hello. I've heard that. It's a great way to get believers to go on proselytizing crusades. Exactly. And you find these people who go into communities that have never heard about Jesus, communities they're good without this Jesus character. They're good without Christianity. They may be, you know, we might consider them backward, but they're thriving. They're doing okay. But you, because your God has sent you on this errand, you come with your God complex. My God is better than your God. Dump your God and accept my God, and you'll go to heaven. If you don't accept my God, my Jesus, you're not going to heaven. And you find them going to take over places, telling the people, indigenes, to get rid of their gods, to take on somebody else's God. So useless. You can't win with Christians either. If you cannot win with God, how can you win with Christians? If you cannot win with God, 1 minute he makes, it's like a God that he just fumbles. He just fumbles along the way. He just does things and just cannot get it right. And why would people worship such a God? This is the same God that looks down on earth and says, people are bad. People are so bad. They're sleeping with angels. And I don't like that. Humans are perverse. They're wrong. They're this, they're that. Okay. And what does he do? Decides, okay, I'll cause a flood to come and wipe everybody out of the earth except 8 people. So we will take out all the babies, take out all the children, take out all the grandmas, the grandpas, the disabled people. Let's just kill everyone and everything. Killed. turns out, after killing people, his plan still didn't work. His plan just always fails. They can't find it. They can't find a way to blame it on Satan. Satan didn't do it. In fact, Mark, I would say Satan has no blame at all. We cannot blame Satan for anything. You know why? God created Satan. God created Satan. If God created Satan, how can you then turn around and blame Satan? How can you then blame Satan? I mean, this thing is not, I was in conversation with some people the other day on Clubhouse, and this gentleman comes along and says, because I'm an atheist, I haven't got morals. I haven't got a moral grounding for, I haven't got any basis for my morals. And so I have to borrow from his worldview, his Christian worldview, for my morals. I'm thinking, I haven't got morals. I have morals. He says, no, but it is subjective. He was just going on and on. I was thinking, oh, so we need philosophy to have morals? We need your philosophical arguments? If God wanted us to understand these things, he'd have made them so simple. A fumbling God. Why would God get heaven? Why would God get heaven right? Why would God get heaven right? Don't know. God's really got this thing about butt sex. People are bad because they're not like me. But when they could all understand each other and work in harmony, as I do, they had to be stopped. People are bad because they're not like him, God. But when they could all understand each other and work in harmony, God had to stop them. That's God. That's the Christian God for you. And somehow he's a good God. He's a moral God. He loves you. One that thinks it's okay to kill his own son doesn't love you, unfortunately. Okay. Don't think Satan had developed into such a bad guy when Babel happened. Still sort of working for God. Like God's lawyer or something. Say Satan is just God's messenger. We all understand that this is just, oh, this is just crazy. Okay, Mark, let me see if I can find your video. Even in the Bible, the only bad thing Satan did was kill Job's family when he wouldn't curse God. Hell, he lost a bet with God, so he had to do it. No, Mark, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. That was not a bad thing that the devil did, because it was all instigated by God. Satan never instigated what happened to Job. That was God's idea. God was the author. He was the one who said, this is what's going to happen. I'm so proud of my son Job. He was the instigator. Love thy neighbor. See, beach, love thy neighbor, then back. Babel happens. Can't understand a thing that my neighbor says, but yet love thy neighbor. God loves us so much that he gave his only begotten son. He loves us so much, but yet he scatters everybody. He doesn't want nobody. You can't, Christians cannot have it. It just doesn't work. Christians, unfortunately, your religion falls apart at every stop. At every stop, your religion falls apart. Preachers and pastors have been lying to us, feeding us with the PG version of the Bible. Look, they lied from the very first verse of the Bible. In the beginning, God created. That's when the lie started. That's when the Bible starts. In the beginning, straight as the Bible starts, the lies start. It's a book that is full of lies. It is a book that is full of contradictions. It's a book that is full of just fairy tales. Most of the things in there didn't even happen. God loves us so much, he wanted his son dead. In Crystal Bacon, it was his idea. It was a plan. This is the plan to have his son killed, to make himself happy. It was his plan. Esther, that's my whole point. The only thing Satan did that can be brought, okay, I see what you mean now, that can be brought off as bad was because God made him do it anyway. All right, I see. Satan is the good guy in the story. God is the bad guy. In most of the stories, Satan is the good guy. Satan can just, don't forget, God created Satan. God knew Satan would become what he is today, accuser of the brethren, Lucifer. He knew he was going to be all these things, but yet still created him. At every stop, Christianity fails. At every point you look, Christianity just falls apart. Ridiculous nonsense. Hey, Darth Hall. Hello. So, let me, just 1 second, guys. Let me go check something. Just 1 second. I am. Just 1 second, everyone. Okay, there we go. Um, okay, so guys, unfortunately for Christians and Christianity, this is one of the stories that did it for me. I read the Bible and became an atheist. How a God is threatened by human beings. The one time, guys, think about this. Just think about it for a second. The one time that human beings decided, let us come together and do something together. They were not fighting each other. They were not at loggerheads. They were all, for once, came together to do something good. But God says no. What is his problem really? What exactly is his problem? Why is he so terrified? Why is he so threatened? Well, it doesn't exist. So the Afro-humanist, I'll have to pass on discussing my video today. I need to get to the petrol station before the price goes up. Can we do this tomorrow? Yes, we can. We can do that. I was going to that was the next thing I was going to do. But we can do that tomorrow, Mark. Same time? Do you want the same time? Oh, tomorrow Friday, I've got more time on here. So tomorrow I'll be here for a good few hours. My son goes to his dad's. Oh, nice. So I can have a long, nice weekend. Ooh. So yes, tomorrow evening I'll be back with we'll think of something to do. But today, uh Tower of Babel. Okay, please put the link in the chat, and guys, subscribe to Mark. Um he did a video. The title is Universal Expansion Accelerating. I saw the title as my head just went Universal Expansion Accelerating. I'm like, okay. I started listening. I was thinking, this is not one of those, it's only 3 minutes long, but this is one of those that no, you have to, drop everything and just focus in. So I said, you know what? I'll come back to this video. But I did give it a thumbs up. Oh, by the way, Mark, do you know you can't put any comments? Did you do that on purpose? Oh, yesterday you couldn't put any comments, but it looks like you can't do that now. Ah, right, it's done now. Okay, sorry guys and girls and all others. This is my first YouTube video and I couldn't work out what I was doing that disabled comments. I encourage people to comment, and yeah, I was going to put a comment to say I started watching this, but yeah, I'm gonna come back later on when I'm not trying to get some sleep. I was about to go to bed. So yeah, all right. So now you sorted it. Okay, Mark, because I was going to put a comment. I was thinking, why would you disable a comment? Why would you disable the comments for a video like this? Hey everyone. Hello. Robert X, I see you over here as that's a date. Okay, I'm late. Denisha, listen. Today's live stream is a short live stream. There's no grandiose. We were just trying to break down the Bible as usual. Let's destroy the claims of the Bible. God got it wrong. Very useless God. Very hopeless. Just ridiculous. That a God would be would be would be uh, uh, that people all spoke the same language. Can you imagine that all of us would have been speaking the same language? Well, guys, you do know I don't believe these stories in the Bible, so I just take them as they're just stories. And let's come here and just let's pretend for a minute that we believe the claims of Christians and Christianity, and then watch it fall apart. One would think that God would be more mad today with the internet and being able to translate. Google translates. He's so daft. He's so daft. And guess what? The Christians will tell you that it is God that gave the scientists the brains to do. Oh, God, this is just terrible. This is just terrible. Robert X, thank you. Thanks for doing that. Listen, guys, I'm very close to we're getting there. We're almost at the 1,000 mark. Yes. Let's do this. Let us do this. Beach, I've got your oh, by the way, I found that letter the other day. Let's see. I've got the letter here. My 4-page letter. I had it somewhere here. Um I'm going to read this letter when I get to 1,000. Let's see. Do I have the letter somewhere? Ah, there we go. That's it right there. That's it right there. That is it. That is it right there. So that's it. I'm going to cover this up. So that's page 1, page 2, page 3. Okay, no, I thought there were 4 pages. It's actually 3 pages. Yeah, but it's quite long. I mean, check this out. This is all the way long. I mean, I couldn't do it. So, some of you who don't know what this letter is about, I was I'd finished 2 years of training in the Church of England, and I was getting ready to start theology school. I was going to start training to be a priest in the Church of England, and I was a member of the choir. I was a member of the committee. I was a very serious Christian. I was up there. I was, I loved God. I loved Jesus. I loved God. But the more we studied, the more we went and opened this Bible, and we're doing, learning about the beginnings of Christianity, the more everything fell apart. And so I wrote an official letter to the Reverend Father saying, I've lost my faith and I can't do it anymore. I'm no longer a Christian and I'm done. So this was the response to um, my official signing out. Yeah, I gave up everything. Gave up everything. And I got that in response. But I haven't read it. I couldn't bring myself to read it. I couldn't. For some reason, even now, I just cannot read it. I can't. I haven't. I saw the first few lines. I saw a couple of things, and I haven't read it. I've seen something. The concept of atonement is I can't. In fact, what I'm going to do for the live stream, when we hit 1,000, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get somebody else to read it. I don't want to read it. So Till X says, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. I had in my settings, it was made for children. Oh, so made for children now automatically disables comments. Okay. My videos are set to not for children. All my it's all set. I'm at work at the moment. I'm mostly listening. Okay, great. Till X. Yes, stupid stories. Someone should have kept to themselves. Absolutely. The letter, yes. Yes, I've got the letter right there. Save it for 1,000 for sure. We're getting there. We're getting to 1,000. So anybody who is not subscribed, please do subscribe. Hey, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. How are you? Oh, fantastic. Good to have you here. All right, Mark. Mark, see you tomorrow. We've got plenty of time tomorrow, and we will do this. We will do this. We will be with you when you. I'm not going to read it, Paige. If I haven't read it up till now. By the way, it's got a date on it. Let me tell you what the date is. It's the 13th of January 2021. It's the 13th of January 2021. If I haven't read it up till this point, no, I haven't read it not because I've got anything against. I haven't got anything against the man, the Reverend Father. I haven't got anything against the church. We're lovely people, absolutely lovely people. But I don't know. I can't explain what it is. When I came public about being an atheist, I was done. I was done with religion. I was done with church. I was done with the bullshit. I was done with everything. And I didn't want no reminders. I was angry that I had been lied to. I was angry at the book, angry at the deception, just angry about everything. I just wanted to be done with. It was too painful. My deconversion was a painful, really painful, and I didn't want anything that will add to my pain, if you know what I mean. So, and also when I was going through the separation, um, my marriage and stuff, the church where these people were really good people. And I didn't want to feel like I owed them any, like I was betraying them. Because this was really nothing to do with any individuals. This was me. This was my personal experience, if you know what I mean, guys. I don't know how to explain it, but that's just, I'm a child at heart. Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you, Johnny. Thanks. I will recommend this book, Orthodoxy and Heresies in Earliest Christianity by Walter Bower, and Yahweh and the Goddess of Canaan by John Day. They're very good books to read. Very fascinating. Okay. Sounds interesting. One second. I know myself. The moment I get out of here, I probably forget. So let me, yeah, that's it. Let me, so I can go and find the books afterwards. I when I deconverted, I just started buying books, different books. My last one I bought was what's it called now? The last one I bought was, one second, let's see. Um Why I Am Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell. That's the last one I got. Why I Am Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell. Yeah, I just went all out because I felt like I'd lost my identity. I'd lost the person I was because everything about me, I was Christ-like, God-like, trying to leave the God, the God experience on earth. So when you come away from that, it's like, where do you begin? Where do you begin? In reference to the child setting. Yeah, but then what adults can do, children can't do. You can't put any comments. I really wanted to put a comment on Mark's video yesterday, and I couldn't. You know, I can see why you wouldn't want to read it, especially if the church members are good people. They are good people. They are good people. They are. In fact, Johnny, um, Because they were good people, I I stayed longer than I should have. I I would get to a point where I think I'm done with Christianity. But when I think about how good these people were, I stop myself in my tracks. I stop my questioning. I stop the reasoning. I stop, just engaging with people that would change my mind, because these people are good, and I would be disappointing them. I would be betraying their trust. I was in a position of leadership in church. I was what they call a member of the parochial church council, the PCC. Member of the PCC. I was in the choir. I was finished 2 years of studying. I'd, all that wasted. I'd been sent. The church paid for me to go a weekend away to go and do this. It was because the Church of England are trying to recruit people from the black and ethnic minority groups, because according to them, the leadership of the church is too white, too white. So we need to recruit women. We need to white male male white dominated. So they want to try and change that. So they did this, they have this thing that runs every year for people who are from the black ethnic minority groups who are thinking of leadership and training in the Church of England. You go away for a weekend, you go and meet other people, you go and meet the leaders of the church. They tell you, it's a nice initiative. It's really good, really, really good. To come away from all of that, it felt like um I was doing something wrong. But I had to do it for myself. I had to say enough is enough. I have to leave my truth, live in my own truth, and not anybody's. I see them from time to time, and I say hello, they say hello back. And they've told me that we'll welcome you back anytime with open arms. Come back. And but going into church, hearing the stories being read from the Bible, and I know that those stories are bullshit, having to sit through that, it is a mind. Uh, the last time I went to church, I was resisting the urge to just get up and say, "That's a lie. The story you're reading from the Bible is a lie." I had to just resist the urge. So, uh, how many members did you have? You mean how many members in the church? How many members in the church, or yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It's when you okay, this is something that I struggle with. I've heard people say, I was an atheist, I'm now a Christian. I was an atheist and now I'm a Muslim. I was an atheist and now I'm whatever. I ask, how does that happen for you? When you see the light, when you see religion for what it is, when you see that this is all just man-made, how do you go from that to picking it up again? How do you I can't relate. I really cannot. Once the wool is, taking off your eyes, you can't. How do you people go back from being an atheist and seeing the light of day, and then you go back to being a theist. How does that happen for some people? I don't know. Oh, how many members? Okay. Oh, that's hard to. There were two services on a Sunday. That's really hard. Because some people come to church this week, they don't come the next week. It's really hard. Well, a few hundred, I would say, a few hundred, maybe 300, maybe more. No, it's more. Of course, it's more. Let's say 400, 500. I think that's something I've never bothered to find out. Oh, okay, guys. So, unfortunately, the Tower of Babel is one of those stories that made me realize that the Bible is just um, child's play. Child's setting needs to be applied to the Bible. The child setting needs to be applied to the Bible because it is nothing but just child's play. That God is so intimidated by human beings coming together to work together. The one time in history that human beings decide to work together as a collective. What does God do? God says, nope, we'll cancel these people. We'll separate them. We will. What a petty, just petty God. Really petty. Exactly. Was the wool pulled off for good reasons? Are they exercising their critical thinking skills? Hmm. 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 You know, I came to the conclusion that a lot of these preachers and pastors that you see who are so rich, they're desperately rich off the backs of their members. I feel like a lot of them don't believe in what they're preaching. A lot of them are closeted atheists, but they have found a method that works. They have found something that would make people part with their money. Just call the name God and people they'll do anything you require of them. Just say, God told me this and God told me that. And so a lot of pastors, preachers, bishops, many of these people, I doubt that they truly believe what they're preaching. A lot of them have gone too far into their profession that it's too late to wind back the clock. It's too late for them to give it up. They've made money on the beliefs or on deceiving people, and so it's hard to then go back and say, I lied to you guys. So why didn't he get upset about that city that was built before he expelled people from the garden? The one the one Cain fled to. Who built that city? Beach. The Bible says there was Adam and there was Eve, okay? Then they had two sons, Cain and Abel. And miraculously, a city appears where they go and get wives. How did that happen? Hmm. He didn't get upset. He expelled people from the garden. The one Cain fled to. Wouldn't building a city be working with people working together? It is people working together. That's the thing, Beach. At every point, the Bible stories fall apart. At every single point, every single avenue. It doesn't work. It's all just made up. It's all made up. The God of Isaac, Jacob, and Abraham. No. God of the Bible. No. He is childlike. Goodness. It just doesn't work, guys. Doesn't work. They love the authority and power they have over people. Exactly. 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 A lot of them, still, a lot of them know that the things that come out of their mouth is rubbish. But they have convinced people into believing the rubbish. It's sad. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And when you try telling these people, they look you in the face and tell you, you are the devil. You are the one that the devil is using. Whereas the devil is right there. The devil is the one deceiving them. Guys, that's why I started this channel. Hopefully, to try and expose some of these lies. And what really frustrates me is in Africa, where people are struggling to feed, churches are springing up every single day. In Africa, where some people don't know. Don't get me wrong, they're rich people in Africa. Rich, extremely rich. But the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And then the poor are told, your reward is in heaven, but bring your 10% still. These people don't know where the next meal will come from. But do you know, guys, in the church that I was going to when we were growing up, we were told that if you are given a gift, you've got to tithe 10% of that gift. If you are given a gift of that isn't money, right? So if someone gives you a phone, right, you have to go and find out how much that phone is in money. So if I find out that this phone is $500, I now have to go and find $50 in cash and bring it to church. A gift. You're supposed to give, they tell you have to tithe 10% of your increase. No, yeah, 10% of your increase. Yeah. Anything that you're increased by, you've got to find the money value of it and bring it to the house of God. Gifts. And they teach that to children. So children, mommy gives me pocket money, $10. I have to take $1. Some, if you're self-employed or you employ people, you pay people their earnings. Whatever you make, I've got a video. I think I should do that video at some point. They were trying to tell the members what they need to pay in tithes. And they were telling the members that if you have a business, whatever money you receive, before paying your workers, not after paying them, whatever is left is whatever profit you make before paying your workers. That's what you pay the 10% of. So why wouldn't I get angry? Why wouldn't I speak against Christianity? Maybe they think they can help with the authority they have, even if it means spreading bullshit. Hey, Dumva is at home now. Good, good. Till X, it's really sad. You find these men are in private jets. Members are looking. Your pastor is in a private jet after selling you bullshit. And you have no money to feed. He's just done telling you fairy tales. Oh, God told me this, and God said nothing. God did not say, God has not spoken a word to nobody. He doesn't exist, let alone speak. It's that scheming of the people who need 100% that really gets me angry. Johnny, right there, that's what gets me angry. That right there is what. So guys, if you're not subscribed, please, I beg you, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm close to my 1,000. Let's get this message out. I may not be fancy YouTuber. I may not be, you know, may not have all the but I am passionate about spreading atheism. Yes. I'm not trying to mince words. I'm an atheist. It's it's the better option. What religion am I going to recommend to anybody? Which one? I would rather let us all just start off at let's start from scratch. If you do find religion after becoming an atheist, good. It's up to you. Nobody would say, it's your life. Do what you need to do. As long as you're not shoving it down anybody's throat. I'm in my little corner here of YouTube, just here, and spreading my little message. The idea that Jews are monotheists is absolute nonsense. Most of their religious affirmation came from the different types of gods of the indigenous Canaanites, Baal and Asherah. Do they know this? The thinking agnostic, do they know this? I find that I know more about Christianity now that I'm an atheist. How is that possible? When I was a Christian, I had no clue. I had no clue at all. And even if someone was preaching something totally opposite from what was taught in church, we were taught to not listen. We were taught to not even give room for. You shouldn't even have any dialogue. Once they have opposing views from Christianity, you're not even supposed to entertain anything they got to say. You stop it at the door. Just how come I know more about religions, not just Christianity, about religions as an atheist? How come you hear the thinking agnostic comes and tells us things? All of us, we rub minds together. Did you know this? Did you know that? Atheists know more about these religions than the people who are in the religion. They know more about the Bible than the people who read the Bible. How is that even possible? When the Bible even tells people to be like the Berean Christians, to go back and go and do their findings, go and fact check these things, but they will not fact check. They will not, they will only, and that's the kind of Christian I was. Only on Sundays we open the Bible. When my grandmother passed away, I was going through some of her paperwork and saw how much she tithed. And my brother and I were shocked and disgusted. Sad. I remember many years ago, we were told to contribute to buy chairs in church. And the pastor said, after giving the money for the chairs, he told us to say these words: money cometh to me. And that after we say those words, we will have money. Money cometh to me, money cometh to me, money cometh to me. Just keep on saying it. After I'd parted with my money, money cometh to me, then it dawned on me that why couldn't the pastor say those words and he gets the money to buy the chairs? Why do we have to say to get money for ourselves? But the pastor can't say those words to get the money for his chairs. And the next time pastor came round and said we should contribute any money, and he still said, say those words, money cometh to me. I didn't contribute. I didn't contribute because of course he can say it himself. These people tell you, go and pray to God. But when they need money, they don't pray to God for money. It's your money they need. It's sad. And they prey on the vulnerable. They pray. You see the elderly women. They see the young minds. Get them young. Get them young. The young minds, the older ladies. Those are the people. They want you at your at the spot. They don't want people that think critically. You're of no good to them. You're of no good to these to churches. And we never had much money. Isn't that sad, Doomver? Isn't that sad? Hang on. Hey, doorknob head. Hang on. Hang a bell and a whistle from the ceiling. That's how they make fancy YouTube shows. Bells and whistles. Okay, doorknob head. I will invest in some bells and whistles. I shall invest. Ah, thank you. Love my hairstyle. Thank you. Wild Eden, how are you doing? Thinking Agnostic says the idea of giving 10% is predominant among the Nigerian Christian churches. Many people have been brainwashed to believe that bullshit. The Thinking Agnostic, 10%, you give 10% of everything, not just money. In Nigerian, yes, you're right. The Nigerian, they take it all the way down to your nitty gritty. You're given a gift. Whatever gift you're given, you're supposed to go and find the money value equivalent and give 10%. The Thinking Agnostic. So yes, I can agree that they take it one step further. Absolutely. Come from a small church and the pastor drove a Lexus. See? See what we're saying? Till, did anybody else in the church drive a Lexus? Did anybody else drive a Lexus? Recently, I found out I was ghost banned from Infidel Needles channel. Oh, when I last tried to say hi to you and you didn't answer back. Oh, you were banned from there. Prettiest buildings in the poorest communities is the church. You know what, Beach? I'm glad you say that because my next live stream, I've started putting the videos together. You know, the last time we said Nigeria was poverty capital of the world for several years in a row. I want to show you the biggest churches, the most beautiful churches in Nigeria, and show you the slums of Nigeria. So you can see the comparison. And I think I found a title for the video. The video is Why Africans Do Not Need Any More Churches. If I had my way, I would stop any church. No more churches. In fact, I think it's Uganda, if I'm not mistaken. There's one of the presidents in Africa has put a law down. Pastors need to have education. They need to have some form of theology education before you can call yourself a pastor, before you can start a church or, be in charge of people. He has set laws. You can't just wake up one morning and open a church how people do it over there. You can't. It's in Uganda, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Ishak, hello from Sharia. Greetings from Sharia, Nigeria. Wow. Ishak, are you an open atheist? Are you open about being an atheist in the Sharia, Nigeria? That would be interesting to find out. Why can't an all powerful God just magic up some money for churches? Like an after school special? Why does it come from those that need it? Almost like God isn't real. That comment needs to be highlighted. Why does your God always need money? The Christian God, the gods of all these, always needs money. The Christian God cannot provide for himself, herself, itself. They need to dip into people's pockets. And they don't just need your money, they need everything. They need your, do you know, guys, we were told that we have to give God 10% of our time. So it's not enough to give him 10% of all your gifts, all your increase, all your earnings. You have to give God 10% of your time. So there are 24 hours in a day. You have to give God every day 2 hours, 40 minutes spent in prayers, in conversation with God, just spending time with God. Yeah, 10% of your time every day. Yes, we were told that you had to give God 10% of your time. Oh, goodbye, Johnny. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you coming. Thanks for coming, Johnny. Yeah, good for Uganda. Absolutely. He did that. Dog, what happened to you, dog? I was looking for you yesterday. I was hoping you're going to be here. Happy birthday in dog. I hope your birthday went well. Yeah, says I'll give God 10% of my time if he reciprocated. You want to spend time with God? Wild Eden? You sure you want to do that? You want to spend time with God? I hear that nobody comes in his presence and leaves with their life. Apparently, if you see God, you die. So nobody sees God and leaves. So I think we're better let him keep his presence. We love our life too much. Afro-Human, did you see Peter Popoff make some money in millions after he was exposed? He still came back. He came back and was right back at where he began, fooling people. You would think that people would learn from Peter Popoff after he was exposed. You would think that people will wake up and see. In fact, they get more love from people after they've been exposed. I don't know. I don't know where people's brains are at. I don't know. Went good. You got drunk. Oh, guys, I think that's it. It was supposed to be a short live stream. Short, but short ends up being an hour, 26 minutes. But I'm glad we could have a conversation. 7 3/4. What's 7 3/4? Dog? What, I missed that. Years old. Information control. Okay, okay. That's the tactics of religion, isn't it? Information control, mind control. It's control. All the way control. Control your thoughts, control your money, control everything. Everything. And that's why I push back against religion, because religion affects religion cuts deep into just the everyday life. Religion, penetrates simplest of decisions, the simplest of things that you would, just not even give a thought for. You just go ahead and they want you to go and meet the pastor and ask for permission, or to bring it to them and let them decide for you. They want to dictate who you should marry. They want to dictate who you should sleep with, what sexual positions you're engaged in. They want to, what car you drive, where you live, who you live with, what you're teaching your children, what you eat, what you drink. Oh, goodness gracious. We deserve some freedom from religion. We deserve freedom from religion. Beach, thank you. Wild Eden, I appreciate that. Your live streams are always classy. I appreciate that. You're aging dog years. Okay. 7 3/4 years. Okay. Happy belated birthday. Lucifer presented himself before God. Aha. Kalfani, Kwame Anu. Who was there to see this happen? Who was the one that saw this happen and wrote it in a book? I will believe this story if they can produce the person who saw it happen and wrote it down. Adam and Eve. There was Adam, there was Eve, and a snake came to meet Eve and convince her to eat the apple, and she convinced Adam. They ate. They were sent out of the garden. Then they had who witnessed the creation and wrote it down. Who is the person? When you find that person, come talk to me. Greg Locke was Greg Locke. That's a charlatan. He is just, and unfortunately, he has followers. He has the people. They just they give these people money. Money. Oh, mm-mm. Who says who saw God with his sons? Anyone can close their eyes and use their imagination. I want to know who is the person who saw the Lucifer present himself and the sons of uh, uh who who witnessed it. Otherwise, whoever came up with that story, pull that story from their behind, from their ass. If you cannot produce the person who witnessed it and wrote it on a scroll, then they pulled it from their ass, unfortunately. I'd like to know how they knew everything Abraham said and did. Beach, beach. At least in the case of Abraham, there was a couple of people on earth. So maybe there was a couple of people on earth, right? So maybe someone somewhere wrote something, who knows? But before Adam and Eve, in the heavens was Lucifer. In the heavens, Lucifer and the fallen angels, they were all there. They were all, everybody was all at peace. And then all that um all that thing happened in the heavens. And so we had to kick Lucifer down to earth. Who was there to witness that happen? Mhm. Lucifer is God's puppet. He's on the payroll. You need to do a live stream on how Jesus became God. It's going to be fascinating for those who aren't good in biblical scholarship. I'm not good at biblical scholarship. I'm not. I'm still learning. I'm still on the journey to learning. So yeah, that would be interesting. How did the monster God in Old Testament become all of a sudden the nice good guy in the New Testament? Oh, he loves you. Oh, his son has to come. Oh, and be all nice, nice. How did that happen? It's people. Lucifer is at least the good guy of this storybook. Yes, Lucifer, good guy. Altogether, you count all the people that Lucifer killed, less than 10. Well, I think they said less than 10. I don't know. But the people who are attributed to God, that God Himself killed, hmm, in the millions, mysterious ways and whatnot. He's a mysterious God. Timfer, the northern aggressor, he is a mysterious God. So if he's a mysterious God, how do you people know anything about your mysterious God? How do you know who he is? How do you know whether he's male? How do you know whether he's female? How do you know whether he is a boy, a girl, or he could be transgender? It could be a unicorn, could be anything, but he's mysterious. These people, they will tell you, it's God's word. God spoke. God's hand. God's leg. His leg is on the throne, and his leg is sitting on his throne up there, and his leg is on the earth. They know what his leg looks like. They know what his hand looks like. They know everything. But he's mysterious, God. These people, guys. Let me tell you. You have to break down this religion of a thing. It's not working anymore. God had said, okay, here we go. God had sex with his mom. so he could give birth to himself, so he could kill himself, return back to himself, to make himself happy. I hear you. The Afro-humanist house of Adam and Eve should have been museum that every human in the world should visit, since they are the parents of the world and the most important humans. Shame on humans. No, shame on God, not humans. Shame on God. No, because Ishak, apparently he drove Adam and Eve out of the garden. So what did he do with his garden? No, not the humans. He drove them out. So some people actually say the garden. I've heard some people say the garden is somewhere. Listen, these religious people, they will make all sorts of rubbish claims. Robert X, God needs the devil so he can blame someone for all the bullshit he pulls, and because he's evil himself, so he needs someone to project his what about isms on. That's God for you. That is the God of the Christians and the, well, you know what I mean. Someone has to take the fall. Someone has to take the blame. I will give him my middle finger. Please put in the chat the middle finger. I'm sure there's the emoji for the middle finger. Put it right there for God. Imagine becoming an electrician before no. Imagine becoming an electrician before knowing all about wiring and electricity, but can become a Christian or a Muslim without knowing next to nothing about the religions. Well said. Well said. I used to read about ancient people and all the monster type gods they worshipped and thought, how can they worship a monster? Turns out people still do worship monsters. Even worse monsters. Even worse monsters they worship. Even worse. Lucifer is associated with Venus, beauty, and light. Doesn't sound evil to me. I'm interested in the Cathar religion. What's that? Cathar. I don't know that. They believed that a benign god rules heaven and a malign god rules the earth. That's interesting. Hmm. The Cathar religion. Interesting. Skeletal remains that date back older than Adam and Eve. Really? Ooh. It's sad that these stories make perfect sense to believers. A deep failure in the world's education system. And that's why teaching religion in schools is good to teach so people know, just to have an exposure to world religions, but not teaching them as absolute truth to children. No, not at all. Not at all. Yes, thank you guys. Yes. Put the middle finger to God. He needs them. He needs them because he is a right failure. And I make no apologies. I don't use swear words. I don't I try to be nice, but a God of the Bible is a horrible monster. And we've just looked at one of those stories that shows you that this God is not one you want to identify with. None of the writers of the New Testament are eyewitness. Are the stories historically reliable? If Mary hadn't declared seeing a vision of Jesus, there is no Christianity. Apparently, Jesus told the disciples that some of you here will not see death. I'll be back shortly. I'm coming for you guys. I go to prepare a place. I'm coming. These people were waiting, so they didn't bother to write nothing. Then they started dying off one after the other. I said, what's going to happen? I'm going to die before you come. Okay, let's start writing. They didn't start writing until at least, that's what I think 50 years after the event. A 50-year-old story, 50-year-old fable that has been passed on. What just generation of, come on. How did we get here? How did Christianity, how did it spread like this? I'm just tired. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of the deceit. And somebody will come and tell me that even, someone told me that even if Christianity is proven to be false, they will still choose Christianity. Somebody said that to me. That even if Christianity is shown to be false, they will still choose Jesus. Ah, guys, it breaks my heart. If they can teach religion, shouldn't there be an atheist alternative? Call it logic and reason class. Amen. 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 He did come back. He came back. He showed his hands. He ate a meal and left again. Yet people still waiting on him to come back. Come back to do what exactly? What exactly is Jesus coming to do? He came the first time. The world is worse off than when he was here. Things are completely worse than when he was here, in my opinion, I think. What changed when Jesus came? What changed? Nothing changed. Human beings were still flawed. What changed? What magic? What did you do exactly that you have to come back again? This is just, how can people be so, how can you twist people's minds to believe a thing like this? Jesus is not coming back. Jesus, he will never come back. It's never going to happen. Jesus is never coming back. There's no proof that Mary was even real. You know something, Robert? I would I would go with the option that Mary wasn't real. I'll choose that option. You know why I'll choose that? Because if indeed Mary was real, think about what she had to put up with. A youngster violated in that manner by a ghost. A ghost comes down and I don't know whether have sex with her, inseminate her, whatever the ghosts did. But the ghost came and she had to carry that baby. According to her age, she was between 12 and 14. Think about, I had my first child when I was, let's see, how old was I? 23, 24? And that was painful. It was the pain. And think about a 12-year-old, 13-year-old having to go through that. Now, she didn't give birth in a hospital. She did not have a midwife to help her. She gave birth among animals. She gave birth in the dirt, in a dirty, dirty place. A youngster. You expect a young child because you're God, so you can violate little girls and expect them to birth babies inside barns and what do they call it? A manger? What do they call that thing? A stable. among pigs, among animals. And after looking after this child for how many years, she doesn't even get the satisfaction of raising the child, or even, 33 years is all she got. And then he's off. Even before then, he's off. He's When she needs him, Jesus, come, come. He says, you're not my mother, father. I'm not. The disrespect for Mary. No, 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 no. Mary had a horrible time. The story of Jesus and this manipulation of Mary. I'd rather go with the option that Mary probably didn't exist. It's better for my mental health. It's better for my thinking faculties. Guys, Jesus is coming. When did you say Jesus is never coming back because he never here in the first place? Absolutely. Jesus is not coming back because he never existed. Wow, didn't George Carlin has to be the best Catholic priest? George Carlin. He was good, wasn't he? Jesus is coming back for the football World Cup in. Okay, guys. Okay, dog, dog. When are you starting this gospel according to dog? Looking forward to it. Ah, we should convince Esther to watch it if she hasn't already. What am I supposed to watch? What movie is that? What movie is it? Dogma. Oh, okay. Yeah, someone recommended Dogma to me. I started watching it. I it's on The version that I saw was so corrupted. So corrupted. I only started watching just and I couldn't carry on. And it's not on Netflix. But I saw some bit of it. I saw the funny looking Jesus in there. Dogma. I started watching, but I haven't finished it. I need to go watch it, man. Jesus is Tucker Carlson. Dog. He uses. Okay, guys, let me get off here. I need to go because there's school. All of us are well. We're all back to. We've all tested COVID negative, so we're COVID free. And my son goes back to school tomorrow, so I've got to go to bed early, get him ready for school. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back here, guys. And my son goes up to his dad. So you see, tomorrow evening I'll have longer to spend with you all. We'll be here together. And yeah, yes. Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Is that all she got for her pain? Is that all she got? A lamb? No, you're in for a treat. Okay, that's great to hear. Fantastic. Okay, guys, thank you very much once again. I appreciate your time. And do not forget, Bible stories, they're just crazy, crazy, crazy. It's all well, I was going to say it's all a lie, but no, I would not say that. I'd say just read with caution. Read with caution. Don't take everything in the Bible with a grain of salt, a pinch of salt. Is it grain of salt, pinch of salt? Just think before believing. Think before acting on beliefs. Think before believing and think before acting on beliefs. Okay, guys. Good night, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Good night. Oh, and don't forget, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm close to hitting my 1000 mark. We're getting there. We're getting there. So, guys, I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow.